We're going to talk about the paleo diet. You know, there's so many diets out there, and many of the studies say, you know what diet is the best one? Whatever works for you. You know, if you're having, bread for toast for breakfast and a sandwich at lunch and a potato at dinner and you're losing 2 pounds a week, I don't write carbs. I'm only writing simple carbs on your sheet if you are struggling. And usually it's not that, it's the pizza and the fajitas and the this and the going out and this, and it's like, oh my gosh. So, the paleo diet is the diet that our ancestors used. Now, there are ancestors. We didn't appear somewhere, all of us, if we had the queen of genealogy or the king could trace us back to Thor in 1 BC. We all came from Adam, Eve, Thor, all our ancestors. Our gene makeup is 99.99% identical to them. Identical. But our lifestyle is completely different. They did not suffer from the diseases we talked about either. You know, we think if we go to the gym a couple of times a week that we're killing ourselves, whereas they were running 12 miles a day, usually with something chasing them. You know, let's go, you know. It's a good thing I didn't have that burger last night with a bun, because I have to move. The meat we eat today has 30% more fat than our forefathers' organic kill because the animals are being raised. Don't get me there. You know, when my daughter went through the whole vegan thing, she used to try and preach to Bob and I about these things, and we'd go, I don't want to hear it, because it's like we don't want to hear certain things because then we might have to do something about it. Someday I'll pay attention to that, I promise, but right now I only want to talk about trying to eat more meat, more fish, more regular food. They ate a well-balanced diet, 65% meat and 35% gathered food, roots, veggies, berries. And the thing is, they weren't fat. I mean, I don't think, they didn't have obesity in those days. Obesity is a modern epidemic. Our bodies are not genetically equipped to handle processed carbohydrates, let alone an excess of them. You know, you see these stories on The Biggest Loser or in magazines about these people that weighed 370, and they were always saying, I would have 4 pizzas for dinner and then a half gallon of ice cream, and then I would eat this and that and this and that. I weighed 370 and I was not eating 4 pizzas. I was busy, I was working, I had a busy life. My body does not process carbohydrates. When I almost virtually eliminated them. Even if I have a beer, it's a Michelob Ultra, which is the lowest carb beer there is. When I've almost virtually eliminated simple carbohydrates, that is how I've been able to keep off the weight. That's how. Our bodies are not made to do that. That is why too much carbohydrates messes up our insulin and all that levels. That is important to pay attention to. So when you say, but Ellen, I really like the carbs, they don't like you. You think I don't enjoy a Whopper with cheese? Now I look at it and go, no, thank you. There's 10 things you should know about the paleo diet. All calories are not created equal. 500 calories from cookies is not the same as 500 calories of lean protein in vegetables. Your body processes them differently. They are stored differently. You know, there's even a study, I don't have it in here, where a fellow had 1,200 calories of processed foods, like Lean Pocket, Hot Pockets, and several things like that. But he only had 1,200 calories, and he gained weight. He did it every day for a week. The next week, he had 2,400 calories of lean meat, protein, fish, veggies. He was full. He lost 5 pounds. Your body wants to have those things, is looking for fruits and veggies and the kinds of things that they can use. And then it goes all into a lot of things. Now there's two things on this. It eliminates dairy. Now, I have some yogurt every once in a while, but I will not give up my fat-free creamer in my coffee. There's certain things in our lives that we turn our heads to heaven and say, you can take away the Whopper, you can take away the donut, but I'm not giving up my fat-free creamer. I won't. Nothing. I mean, if the doctor said you will die unless you give up the fat-free creamer in your coffee, then I would. But I think there's certain things, and even they say here, if like once a month you have a piece of pizza, it's not going to hurt you, but it's not that the people in this group are having it once a month. It's part of their regular diet and makeup. So take a look at this article, and the theory behind it is that you're not going to feel hungry. You try to drop your calories down to 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, thinking, if the less I eat, I got to feel that grumbling, starving feeling. And what they're saying here is, eat some food, have some protein, have some veggies, have some fruit. You'll feel fuller, and you'll be healthier, and you'll lose weight. Also, one of the things it does is it gives some things that you can eat. It's so funny because there's people in this group that have dressing on their salad and some butter on their veggies, and they have ketchup on a turkey burger. But there's other people who never have any condiments. All their salads have no dressing. All their veggies have no butter, no toppings. It's funny, but those are the people that are gaining weight. I wonder if they're not putting that down. Everything counts. You have corn on the cob 3 ears. If you don't have butter, fine. But remember, that is a simple carbohydrate. Corn on the cob might be in season, but it is not the best choice to have 12 ears of corn a week. Have 1 or 2. Watch the croutons in your salad. Watch the dressings. That gives you the whole list of things you can have: fruits, meats and eggs, shellfish, nuts and seeds. When's the last time anyone had any kombu, wakame, and other seaweeds? When's the last time? Well, I'm going out this weekend. I'm getting some kombu, some wakame, and some seaweed.
Seaweed's hard to choose.
Well, we'll have to just do. Somebody get a recipe and tell me all about it. All right. Listen.
They have a seaweed salad right there where sushi is at Wegmans.
Sushi salad, seaweed salad at Wegmans.
It's in a small container, costs about $2, and you can try it. It's with sesame seeds. They have a certain dressing on it. I didn't think it was that bad.
Karen did not say, she thought, her glowing recommendation for the seaweed salad was, I didn't think it was that bad. But that kind of a recommendation, I'm leaving here tonight and going to Wegmans.
She means it's good. She's Italian. That's how we talk.
That's how you talk. Not so bad. All right. In moderation, you can have some coffee, some chocolate, some dried fruit. Not chocolate. They're talking about a square. They're not talking about the chips covered with peanut butter and covered with chocolate. Okay. Now, I am going to just finish this one section up. I'm reeling you guys back in. Reeling in. All right. Foods to avoid: pasteurized dairy, grains. Now they're saying to get rid of all beans. Now, I don't think that black pinto and some of these peas and garbanzo are what's hurting the Pray It Off members. I'm not going to be a paleo fanatic going, you got to get rid of beans. If you want to, fine. I don't think that's the worst of your sins. Now, there's a really good recipe here: chicken cutlets with olives and tomatoes. It looks like a normal thing to eat, everybody. There's chicken breast, there's an onion, there's some tomatoes, there's some olives, some parsley and thyme. It's normal food. I think you hear paleo and you're imagining some crazy thing like, oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, I don't want to eat. Try this recipe, okay? Now, I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.